Well, let's look at our next speaker for today. He will share his ideas on how people like you can move from self-limiting beliefs and blind spots and build self-esteem and create an empowering vision of where you want to go. And just to clarify, he loves people, but no, he's not actually winking at you. Please join me in welcoming a leader that doesn't quit and won't let you either. I give you Brian Wagner.
Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning to total darkness. You go to flip on the light switch and nothing seems to happen. You turn towards the mirror and you can see a sliver of light coming out of the bottom of your eyes. So the power is on. This was my situation. My wife heard the commotion and she came downstairs, and I'll never forget her. She was totally distraught at what she'd seen. My face was swollen about twice the size, and my eyelids wouldn't open. So here's where you've got to determine that this has probably never happened to you. So why am I telling you the story? I'm telling you the story because we've all had situations in our life where we've had to deal with bad stuff. Bad things happen. We've had a diagnosis or a disability or whatever the case may be. And understanding that happens to all of us is the first step. So as soon as we were able to, we rushed to the ER. And there, after hours and hours of waiting and hours of tests, as you can imagine, the doctor came in and he said, "Mr. Wagner, it appears as though the cavitous malformation in your brainstem, a cavitous malformation, or a cav mal, if you will, has bled and it's putting pressure on the nerves that control your vision. We're recommending that you have brain surgery." Brain surgery? Wait a minute. They told me never let someone operate on my brainstem. What's changed? Well, the problems you have are only going to become worse and more frequent. Worse and more frequent. Worse. I was blind and it was going to get worse. Well, that's my story. I went blind. I have a speech impediment. I have numbness on the right side of my body. I walk with a cane. I have I don't drive. All this, but that's my story. And you have your story as well, because you don't quit. Leaders don't quit. Now, as we went on, this reminded me of my days back at IBM. When I was blind to what I was doing there, I had no idea. But I realized after going through this long process where I was able to learn more and to be able to take more on, we had a big opportunity where we worked on, and we got this customer to a point where we thought that he was going to purchase this storage equipment from us, but he didn't end up doing that because in the briefing center, I failed. I didn't prepare. So that's similar to me being blind. I didn't know I needed to prepare. I didn't know that I needed to do the work up front. Well, if I did the work up front, we would have had a better chance to win. But I didn't win. Back to that surgery, back to that ER, where the doctor came in and told me that I need to have brain surgery. I was blind. I'm like, well, okay, we'll do whatever you say. So when I went and had brain surgery, and when I came back, I thought everything was going to get back to normal. I thought everything was going to get back to the way it was. My daughter, she told me that I was still her dad. She wrote me this Father's Day letter that year. She was 13 years old at the time. 13 years old. And she wrote me this letter for Father's Day. She said, "Dear Dad, happy Dad's Day." Oh, and by the way, I don't read it anymore because it's too hard to read. But happy Dad's Day. I hope you have a great day because you definitely deserve it. All the cars and TV commercials always say, "My dad's the best." But they're all lying. You're the best ever. Sure, other people's dads are great. They're younger than you, and they're sportier, and they're funner. Okay, much like you, at this point of the letter, I'm beginning to wonder where the good stuff comes. But she goes on. But you've got something that they don't have. Bravery. Even after everything you've been through, you still go to bed in the morning. You still joke around and play with us and cook on the grill, even though you only have half of one good eye. But you do more still. You teach me. You teach me that even though you go through the toughest, most grueling things, that if you just believe that God is right there with you through everything. Believe that everything turns out okay in the end. You'll make it alive. Not always unscathed, but alive. And give me that hope, that sense of belief. Well, I'd take that over a dad with two good eyes any day. Love, 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 Jess. When's the last time you received a letter like that? I got a better question. When's the last time you wrote a letter like that? Well, that's my challenge for you today, is to write that letter. Remember, to think about that one person that you needed, because I needed that specialist in Phoenix, Arizona, where I went and had brain surgery. I needed him. He was the guy. Who do you need at certain times? Who do you need to help you be more resilient? That is that person that you want to write that letter to. And then tell them who they are. Tell them to stop comparing themselves to other people. Like my daughter told me. She told me who I was, who I needed to be. She told me that I don't quit. And she told me that I'm a leader, and leaders don't quit. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. You know, Brian, I can see how you will make sure that people don't give up and don't quit. Thanks so much.